أولا مساء الخير يا جماعة. ازيكم؟ To our dear English speaking friends, I'll just switch in English for a minute. بس I'll start in Arabic first. مساء الخير يا جماعة، أنا اسمي أحمد حمدي. أنا مبسوط جدا إن أنا معاكم النهاردة في السيشن دي عن واحدة من أقوى وأحدث الطرق في تخطيط سلاسل الإمداد، اسمها DDMRP. وهنحاول نخليها بسيطة وسهلة ونطلع منها بحاجة مفيدة. بس خليني الأول أقدم لكم نفسي بسرعة قبل ما نبدأ. أنا اسمي أحمد حمدي، أنا شغال في مجال التشغيل والسبلاي تشين بقالي أكتر من 25 سنة. أغلبهم اشتغلتهم في شركة واحدة اللي هي شركة بروكتر اند جامبل في بلاد مختلفة. كنت ريسبونسبل عن حاجات مختلفة سواء في ألمانيا، سويسرا، الهند، الشرق الأوسط، دبي. وعلى مدار السنين الكتيرة دي اشتغلت على حاجات كتير: إدارة مخزون، تخطيط إنتاج، تطوير أنظمة، تحسين عمليات. كنت مدير أوبريشنز لبعض المنتجات بتاعت الشركة. وكمان حاجة بحبها جدا 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 هي التدريب وبناء القدرات، سواء كانت لفرق التخطيط أو التشغيل أو حتى فرق الإدارة. فأنا مبسوط جدا إن أنا معاكم النهاردة لأول مرة. أنا انضميت للتيم بتاع سيمبيوس كسينيور بارتنر بقالي 3 شهور بيزد في القاهرة. واتمنى ان انا اعرف اوصل لكم الكونسبت بتاع الدي دي ام ار بي بطريقه سهله النهارده ان شاء الله. بس قبل ما ابتدي المحتوى عايز اوضح نقطه مهمه. I'll switch now to English. This session will be in English because we have I've seen in the attendee list people speaking English, and as well we're honored to have Mr. Gustavo Benitez, our North America director for our partner WA Solution, which is the team behind the system that enables the execution for what we will be discussing today. So we'll keep it in English to ensure everyone is on the same page, and to give Gustavo and the team as well, because I think it's not only Gustavo from WA Solution that is attending, the full chance to engage with us as well. Also, if you have any question or anything that is not clear, please stop me and ask. I'll try as much as possible to keep things light, clear, and interactive. And of course, feel free to ask any question anytime. This will enrich the conversation, not just the presentation. Okay? All is clear? Okay, I will take silence as approval and we'll kick it off.
هو التيم بيرياكت سامز لينا فهو كله تمام. احنا ممكن بس حضرتك تحط البرزنتيشن على سلايد شو عشان تبقى واضحه. تمام.
I will do that. Okay. Cover that. Okay, fine. So again, welcome everyone to today's session on Demand Driven MRP, or DDMRP for short. I know just when we finally got our heads around classic MRP, someone went and added demand driven to it. Okay, but by the end of this session, you will not only understand the core of DDMRP, but also know how this can help our real supply chains become more agile and responsive, and yes, hopefully less chaotic. I'm really excited to walk you through this topic, whether you're from planning, procurement, operation, or leadership. This model offers something that can truly change the game for managing inventory and variability. So let's begin with the basic question. What is demand-driven MRP? Is it just MRP wearing a trendy new hat? No, it's not quite. Demand-driven MRP is a modern methodology that helps you model, plan, and manage your supply chain to keep material and information flow smooth. And remember this term, smooth. Think of it like traffic management for a material. We're no longer just trying to track everything. We're strategically placing traffic lights and detours to keep things moving where the road gets rough. So DDMRP is also the engine inside a bigger system called Demand Driven Operating Model, or DDOM. This model doesn't just forecast better, it reshapes how we react to demand. And please, team, whenever you have any question, please stop me and ask, because it's very important for you to understand the theory and the essence behind it. So the method stands on 3 legs. First leg is position, meaning that positioning your inventory correctly, not everywhere, but in the right place. And this is very important. The second thing is protecting it with smarter dynamic buffers. Protecting it means that not just adding inventory, but as well making sure that the right amount of inventory is there. Because I might add inventory at the beginning, and then this amount becomes, because we're talking agile and dynamic world, becomes more or less. So we need to protect it. And then pull material based on actual demand, not forecast. That age faster than milk in the sun, as they say. So the 3 legs again: positioning the inventory in the right place, protecting it and putting the right amount, and then pull material based on actual demand. Some people in the supply chain might say that this is science fiction, but we're here to prove that it can happen, really. Okay, why are we moving from normal MRP to demand-driven MRP? Or why? Let me ask this question differently. Why is MRP the right tool and still function in today's world? Anyone worked in supply chain before COVID and after COVID, I think they may have an answer on that, because COVID changed a lot in the supply chain. And I think majority of you are familiar with the VOCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We all feel it. Demand spike from nowhere, supplier delays, freight costs on a roller coaster, and inventory that's either overflowing or nowhere to be found. So either I'm overstocking for inventory, or I'm facing runouts. Traditional MRP and ERP systems struggle in this environment. Because why they struggle? Because they're based on assumptions of stability. So the traditional MRP system is based that there is a certain level of stability in the supply chain. They push forecast down the line without questioning reality. And by the time the plan reaches the factory, the market has already moved on, meaning that I need to change the plan again, which makes things more complex. That's why we say VOCA is the new norm. And it's exactly why we need planning systems that are dynamic, responsive, and driven by what's actually happening, not what we hope would happen 3 months ago. I'm pausing here for a minute if you have any questions so far. Okay. Let's rewind for a moment and talk about inventory. We are all in supply chain business, I assume, most of the team in the call. So I'm sure we all have this coming statement in our DNA. Too much inventory is a waste. Too little means lost sales. So there is a sweet spot somewhere in the middle that is not too hot, not too cold, just right. However, there is a catch. This optimal range is like a narrow footbridge over a canyon or a river. One strong wind blow, like a supplier delay or a sudden demand spike, and boom, you're falling off either sides. In traditional systems, inventory is managed through batch-driven planning and rigid rules. These systems don't respond well to change. They react late or excessively, which cause inventory to swing widely over time. And I think people in supply chain will understand this. So while the theory says there is an optimum level, in practice, much companies rarely live there. Okay, now let's talk the real life consequence of traditional planning systems. Most companies, whether they realize it or not, suffer from something called bi-model inventory distribution. That's a fancy way of saying inventory is either piling up in some places or running out in others. Studies showed that over 90% of the companies fall into that trap. And the funny thing is that 90% of them don't know that they fall into that trap. So many of them don't know that they are in this area. And it gets worse. Every time you run your MRP, it pushes the pendulum further. You order too much, then too little. Too much, too little. Chasing your own tail, as they say. So you can imagine filling your bathtub with a fire hose. You either flood the room, or miss that tub entirely. That's what happens when systems overreact on demand fluctuation. So you have the inventory, but you have it either too little or too much. Rarely in the optimal range, because you overreact or underreact to the demand, to the forecast in the market. That's where DDMRP steps in, not by controlling inventory harder, but controlling where and how you place it. And this is a very important thing. You will have inventory in the system. It's not like thinking lean, because I know it's in our DNA. Inventory, whomever got lean, Six Sigma, whatever color of the belt, knows that inventory is a loss. But after COVID, with the agility that the supply chains are forced to have now, with the geopolitical issues and the chaos and madness around everywhere, lean in inventory might not be the right thing for the supply chain. Because remember, we are supply chain. Our main task is to supply the product. If the product is not there to supply, and we have the best inventory monitoring and managing system in the world, this is nothing. The company will stop, because we have nothing to sell. So and this is a saying in inventory. Inventory is needed when it costs more not to have it. So the key word here for the entire training is that we're not controlling inventory harder. We are controlling where and how we place it. This is a buzzword for the DDMRP. If you came up with two things only from this training today, it's this and something else coming in a few slides. Okay, so how does DDMRP break this cycle? It introduces something simple but incredibly powerful, the buffer. The buzzword buffer is something that protects you against the spikes in the forecast. So the buffer is made up of 3 color-coded zones: red, yellow, and green, each with a job to do. The red zone is your safety net, the minimum protection you need. So this is the must safety stock that you have, and then you have to order when you reach it. The yellow zone is your working inventory. Hopefully, most of the time you should be there, the average daily demand coverage. And the green zone is your upper cap, where you say enough already, no more orders. Think of it like your phone battery. Red is panic mode, yellow is normal use, green is don't bother charging yet. What's special about this? Each zone is sized independently and updated dynamically. And this is the important thing that aparts DDMRP from normal MRP, is that it is dynamic. It's not based on a certain formula that stays the same through the entire life of the supply chain. No, the interdependency and dynamization is the key word here. It's not static reorder points. It's a living system adapting to your real shifts. And we will see that in a minute, how because I know some of you might be saying now that's too good to be true. I don't believe that, but we will see together. And at the end, we will see actual case studies of companies that have already introduced this thinking methodology. It's not a system, it's a thinking methodology to their business and the business effect out of that. So we'll see that at the end. Okay. So let's take a deeper look into these colorful zones, because they are more than just traffic lights, as we said. Each zone in the buffer has a unique function role. So the red zone represents the liability side of your buffer. It's the non-negotiable safety stock that ensures survival. So you cannot drop below that. This is a must-have buffer. The yellow zone is your checking account. It covers average daily needs, the working parts of your supply chain, the daily orders, and so on. The green zone acts like a limiter, protects you from over-ordering, overproduction, or over-promising. So each area has its own function to do. And these zones aren't guessed. And this is very important. They are calculated based on real parameters like average daily usage, lead time, variability, and decoupling decisions. So it is dynamic. What DDMRP does brilliantly is that it turns your inventory into a strategic asset, not a liability on your balance sheet. Because we all, every veteran supply chain person knows that inventory is working capital, and it's something that companies are measured against it in the reduction of days on hand year on year. And this shows that you are managing your assets efficiently and your cash flow and everything. But the DDMRP turns this from liability into a strategic asset that helps you be agile and serve the bigger need or cause of your existence as a company of providing the goods to the customers. Okay. Now that we have understood the buffer concept, let's zoom out, because DDMRP isn't just about colored zones. It's a full methodology built on 5 powerful components. And mind the Spanish here in this chart, because our dear Gustavo is from Mexico, based in Mexico, so he needs to put the local touch on it. Okay, so what are the 5 components of DDMRP? The first one is position the inventory where it absorbs variability best, and this is very important. We're not just throwing inventory into the supply chain. No, we're positioning it where it absorbs variability best. Second thing is protect that inventory with dynamic buffers. And protecting that inventory does not mean that I keep, if I say, for example, this month, the inventory level is, let's say, 5 tons of a certain material. Protecting it does not mean that I keep the 5 tons no matter what. No. Protecting it means that it's dynamic, so the 5 tons might be the need for today, but for next month, it should be 7 tons or 3 tons. So I protect it dynamically, because if it's not dynamically, then we're back to the MRP traditional way, and we're not protecting against a change in demand, but we're working against forecast. So this is very important. The third one is the pull material based on actual demand, not push via forecast. Adjust buffers dynamically as conditions change, and we said that. And then the last one is collaborate and analyze using relevant flow-based matrices. So the 5 components again: position inventory right, protect that inventory, pull material based on actual demand, not forecast, adjust buffers dynamically, so the dynamic part, and collaborate and analyze using relevant flow-based matrices to give the full feedback again to the system. What's key here is that you don't need to throw away your ERP system. So you have an ERP system already, or you are working with Excel sheets, you don't have an ERP system. DDMRP can work with both. You can plug it into your existing technology and make it smarter and more responsive. So you can think of it like adding a GPS to your planning system. You still have a car, but now you can react in real time to traffic, roadblocks, and changing routes without driving blindfolded. This is very important thing. So whatever planning system you're working with, ERP or Excel, DDMRP can work with it. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about one of the biggest shifts in mindset, which is positioning. Traditional MRP works like a daisy chain. Everything is coupled. Every demand trigger a ripple all the way up to the supply chain. The result, it's long lead time, amplified variability, and the bullwhip that snaps hard. So a small change in the demand in the forecast can result in a major change in the forecast for the suppliers, which is disturbing for everyone in the supply chain. And I'm sure you all know that. DDMRP breaks that chain strategically. It decouples certain points, meaning we place inventory buffers in the right place to absorb shocks and reduce dependency. Think of MRP like a tightrope walker. Someone's walking on the rope. One wobble effect, the whole affects the whole chain, and the walker might fall. DDMRP gives that same walker multiple support points, more balance, more flexibility. And you can see from the different pictures on the right and on the left. By decoupling at the right spots, and this is the beauty and science of the tool. So wording is easy, you can say it easily, but the challenge is to choose the right spot. And it's dynamic, so it's changing spots. So today it's this spot, tomorrow is a different spot. So how we choose it? And when you choose it right, you avoid the cascading chaos of traditional planning. It's not about more inventory at all. It's smarter inventory in smarter places. And most probably, it is lower inventory. So you might have an inventory of 10 tons. You might be, and you're having a run out in this material. DDMRP can allow you to have only 5 tons, 50% of it. You put it in the right place, and you have more response in the supply chain. This is the beauty about the tool. Okay. Decoupling the bullwhip. Now let's talk about the infamous monster hiding in every supply chain, the bullwhip effect. Again, which is a small disturbance or change in the demand distributor centers that turns into a major change at the supplier. On the top, you can see this is a whiplash effect. Why does this happen? Because traditional MRP treats every single link in the supply chain as dependent. Everything waits for everything else. One delay or change in forecast creates a domino effect. DDMRP breaks this chain. It inserts strategic inventory buffers, shock absorbers that decouples variability. It's like adding circuit breakers to an electrical grid. When something goes wrong, the entire system does not collapse. It absorbs the hit locally, protects the flow globally or whatever based on the size of your company. This is one of the most powerful outcomes of DDMRP. It decouples the chaos. Now that hopefully we have solved the idea of buffers, the question becomes, where exactly do we place them? Let's start with raw material, for example. In many cases, you don't need to buffer every input. DDMRP says buffer only the material that are with long lead time, high variability, or critical for the flow, because you will not be protecting everything. Think of it like a lifeboat. You don't put one on every deck chair or chair in the boat. You put it where the risk is the highest and the flow must be protected. Because at the end of the day, we are in the business, so we need to take strategic decisions that will not affect the entire supply chain. Okay. Now, now we talked about raw material. So what about after that? It's intermediates. And this is where really the magic really starts to show. Intermediate parts, assemblies, components, semi-finished goods are often where variability accumulates, because you're moving from a generic material into a specific assemblies that can only be working for a certain finished products. We're adding constraints on it, so the effect of forecast variation becomes more visible. DDMRP places buffers on key intermediates to decouple production stages. This allows operation to run independently, avoiding the everything must wait syndrome. And this is very important for operation, because one of the added values of doing this smartly and right is to give some breathing space to operation and not forcing too many changeovers on it, because for a changeover, it's a disruption to the overall reliability for the operation and the losses that comes with the changeover. So this is an added thing as well when it's done in a smart way. Buffering intermediates creates flow, machines keep running, assemblies don't get stuck, and you gain flexibility to adjust to real demand changes without replanning the entire schedule. This is very important. After intermediates, buffering for end items. The end of the line, or as we planners know, the part where customers start yelling. Traditional system try to plan perfectly to match forecast to output, but let's be honest, forecast, we know forecast is always wrong, as we say. So that's why DDMRP says for key finished products or goods, buffer the inventory, especially when, again, same concept or similar concept to raw material, long lead times, customer tolerance times are short, or demand is highly variable. You're not throwing inventory at the problem, and this is very important. It's not just because someone might say, okay, what's smart about this? I'm protecting myself with inventory. No, the solution is not like that. You're actually placing it strategically. Right items, right places, right time. This is very important. We're not throwing inventory at the problem. Think of it like having you're going into a picnic and you have or inviting people and you have cold drinks already in the fridge instead of rushing to the supermarket every time someone visits. It's availability with control. This is very important. Does it stop here, the buffering? No. So we covered the material, intermediates, finished goods, and lastly, the distribution centers as well. Imagine that same finished product goods inventory, but separate, spread across multiple distribution centers, for example, maybe across multiple regions or countries even. Here is where the pain multiplies, because variability isn't just in demand, it's in logistics, lead time, customer and replenishment cycles. So it's not, it's becoming more complex. DDMRP tackled this as well by placing buffers within strategic distribution network, not just at the factory, taking into consideration the sweet spot in logistics, lead times, customers, and replenishment. This is a game changer. Instead of flooding every warehouse with stock, just in case you have orders, you create targeted buffers customized to each location demand, variability, or constraints. This is a game changer for it. Okay, so we finished the buffer in all the areas: raw material, intermediate, finished product, and distributor. Now for the protect, second core principle of DDMRP. How do we protect? We protect through something called buffer profiles and buffer leveling. How it works: for each item, we define a buffer profile, a kind of generic code that reflects its lead time, variability order, frequency, and so on. This profile helps automatically calculates the red, yellow, and green zone. So we create the zones automatically through the software that we will see at the end. Then we fine tune it based on specific part behavior. Think of it like adjusting the thermostat for each room in your supply chain. So you don't have one air condition for all your supply chain. No, each room you can adjust it differently. Because majority of the companies don't have only one supply chain or one product or one conditions for a product family. They have multiple families and they have different conditions for it. So DDMRP can work on that for each product family that has different requirements. They can adjust automatically. It's not a static safety stock. It's a living, breathing set point that adapts to change demands, lead times, and actual performance. The result, resilience, not rigidity. And this is very important with the world that the VUCA world that we're having today. Okay, dynamic buffering adjustment. As we said so far, we have talked about setting buffer profiles and levels, but what happens when reality changes? Welcome to the world of dynamic buffering adjustment. DDMRP's built-in GPS recalibration feature. So it's not only a built-in GPS, but this GPS can recalibrate itself as well. Market shifts, new lead times, seasonality, or protecting launches, no problem. DDMRP dynamically adjusts the buffer levels based on average daily usage trends, order frequency patterns, and strategic planning factors like future campaigning or events. So you can put as well your initiative plan into it, and they take it into consideration. And the beauty about that is that it happens automatically, and we will see that in a minute. Because this level of complexity cannot be done humanly. You cannot do it with the human mind on it. So the point is no buffer stays static, because in a dynamic driven world, static equals obsolete. So the right buffer for today is obsolete for tomorrow. In traditional MRP, the only way to adjust safety stock is usually a manual override based on the experience of the planner. Normally, this is what happened. With DDMRP, adjustments are proactive, calculated, and strategic. This is very important. Type. Now we enter the pull phase. And this is where DDMRP really starts to sing, as they say. Traditional MRP phases pushes supply based on forecast, often outdated, because the forecast, we know that it's always wrong. As well, the forecast might not come at real time, and the forecast that we're working with today might be the right picture last month, but it's not the right picture now. So it's often outdated or disconnected from actual customer demands. DDMRP flips the script, as they say. It pulls supply based on what's truly relevant, what has been consumed, and what's immediately needed. This is not just Kanban for the people who worked on lean. It's a smarter DDMRP's pull logic reacts to consumption while balancing lead time, priority, and availability. It starts with relevant demand signal, real usage, not guesswork like what we do traditionally with forecast. Because forecast is, regardless of how you do it, it's guesswork. It has a lot of guessing in it. The beauty about DDMRP is that it works with the demand, with the actual number that is really needed. And then comes a more intelligent supply order generation model driven by what's called the net flow equation. Think of it like, I'll try to mimic it like it's shopping only when your fridge is empty, but with sensors that tells you exactly how much to buy based on what your family actually eats, not what you're guessing via last month consumption. So this is the trick and the intelligence the DDMRP is adding to the equation. Okay, so I said net flow equation, and this is in the coming slide the beating heart of DDMRP, the net flow equation. If you take only one formula home today, I said take two things from the training today. The second thing is this formula. The net flow equals on hand, which is your current inventory, plus open supply, which is including pending POs or production orders that you've already given to the operation, minus qualified demand, which is what must be fulfilled now, including real customer orders. This is the net flow. If the net flow drops into the red or yellow zone from the traffic lights that we talked about earlier, the system triggers new supply orders, not based on rigid schedule, but on real flow risk. It's like asking yourself every morning, do I need to restock my fridge today, instead of just doing it every Tuesday because the system says so. This is the main difference between DDMRP and the normal MRP. The beauty, this equation is evaluated daily, making DDMRP a living, breathing planning system. And this is the key strength point in the DDMRP, is that it's evaluated daily. It's always updated. Okay, next thing is we've set the buffers. We've adjusted them dynamically. We've calculated net flow. Great, but now comes the big question. What should I do first? Which material or which order should I ask for? DDMRP answers this with priority-driven execution. Unlike traditional systems that relies on due dates or fixed priorities, DDMRP uses buffer status to drive urgency. So the planner or the buyer doesn't chase dozens of reports. They focus on what truly matters. So items in red is the highest priority. You're at risk of stock out and you need to place the order now with this quantity. Items in yellow, moderate risk, keep an eye on it and be ready with the order. Items in green, relax. Everything is flowing, no need to order now. This prioritization ensures that your actions protect flow, not just schedule. And it's very important. You're protecting the flow, not the schedule. And you're not overstocking or having a risk of stock out. So this is a priority, and prioritization does not just work inside the factory. This is very important. Again, as we said on the buffering, we're talking about from raw material into intermediate, into finished product, into the distribution center. The same with prioritization. It works across your entire distribution network. So DDMRP doesn't wait for someone to scream from the warehouse that stock is running low. It protects, it proactively monitors current on hand versus buffer levels across locations. And it comes in a visually visible and controlled way, so that each day planners receives alerts on where intervention is needed, whether at central DC or local branches or inside the factory warehouse. In traditional system, this is huge, because by the time you notice a problem, it's too late to fix it without expediting firefighting or disappointing a customer. With DDMRP, you're always one step ahead, because you're seeing it early on and you have the buffers putting it in the right way to be able to decouple the forecast variation from the demand. And this is the beauty about the solution and the software. Okay. Now here is the beauty of it all in this picture, actually, how buffer behave over time. Traditional safety stocks is like a brick wall, rigid, silent, and reactive. DDMRP buffers, they're more like smart jelly. They're flexible, adaptable, and absorbent. With applying DDMRP, you will notice that inventory level stabilize instead of swinging widely up and down. Stockouts or shortages drop dramatically. Planners regain confidence and control and time, because this is a great enabler for work-life balance for the planners as well. Because one of the most difficult jobs in the entire supply chain are the planners, because they see things affecting them from the supplier end and from the customer end. And sometimes this job is not the easiest job to do, with a lot of stress on it. So this buffering concept reduces pressure in the job hugely. Okay, so the solution. We've talked, I think I've talked a lot about the theory, and some people, some of you might say this is too good to be true. So I want to pause here for 5 minutes and then hear your reactions on it before we go to the solution and success cases that already exist. Any comment, feedback, thought? Anything? Anyone disagreeing to what we have said or doesn't believe in it? Too good to be true? I've seen a lot of thumb up, so and clapping. I hope they're saying that they're convinced, not saying that we agree that it's too good to be true. Okay, so the first time I heard about DDMRP from my friend Gustavo, I was like, I said this is too good to be true. But when I went into the methodology of it, it's a mind shift, because we've all been raised in supply chain that inventory is not a good thing. Too much inventory is not a good thing. But this tool is not getting too much inventory. It's putting the inventory in the right places to protect the supply chain. And before we go into the cases, I want to give just a quick intro of our partner.
I think we have, sorry for interrupting, I think we have one question.
Sure.
Someone is asking, does buffering go by maturity of the supply chain and also the history?
If you're asking maturity of supply chain, meaning the level of capability that you have both in people, process, and ERP system, yes, for sure. Because if your supply chain is designed in a lean way that already has the capabilities and putting the inventory in the right places already, then the improvement of this solution to your supply chain is not going to be huge, because you're already in a way implementing DDMRP. But if you're saying that is DDMRP an adjustable solution that can work on any supply chain and on any maturity, meaning the capability of the team or the level of technology invested in the supply chain, ERP or Excel or so, yes, it can work on any of it. I'm not sure this answered your question or not. So did this answer your question?
He said clear, thank you.
Good. Okay, so let's look at the real cases from the world. But before that, from Colombia to Brazil to the US to Saudi Arabia to Egypt, organizations using this methodology have reported 3 major things: higher service levels, reduced shortages, and significant, believe it or not, inventory cuts. So although we're saying that we're creating buffers, and in lean thinking, buffer normally means more inventory, but surprisingly, companies did this in the right way, significantly reduced inventory because they took the whole inventory that was put in adequate places and put the right amount of inventory in the right place at the right time. And this is the beauty of it. And behind many of these implementations, we have WA Solutions, a global partner specialized in demand-driven transformation. They have led over 120 implementation across the globe since 2014. Their team combines consulting, integration, and consulting, IT integration, and software. They are all certified and endorsed by the Demand Driven Institute, which is a global institute for fostering the thinking way of demand driven, because it's a mind shift, as we said. And they are ranked among the top 5 DDI affiliates globally. So when we say DDMRP is more than a theory, these are the people turning this into practice. We're proudly announcing that Symbios is partnering with WA and becoming their partner in the Middle East. And we will be, with their support, the go-to when for applying this new solution in the markets, whether in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UAE, anywhere in the Middle East. Behind every success story, there is a capable team, of course, and WA Solution is not an exception. They have over 60 professionals spread across America and Europe. Their team covers all critical areas like business consulting, system architecture and integration, reporting, development, and project management. And the good thing is that with their locally developed solution, they have a strong customer service. And of course, with Symbios as being the local agent in the Middle East, we will be very happy to implement this solution anywhere to any company, and we will know the implementation of the solution as well, because it will come in a way that ease the fears of many people in the supply chain. Because one of the biggest resistance ways here is that for the veteran supply chains, people working in supply chains, increasing inventory is something that really they don't get it. They get along with, because for them reducing inventory is the thing that I've always been doing. But again, with the VUCA world and chaos around the world and post COVID, these things have changed. Okay, so let's talk about case studies. Let's look at starting with Grupa Nutrisa, which is a major player in the food industry in Latin America. They applied DDMRP across key categories and saw game-changing results. They have gained more than 12 percentage points in service level, which is a huge in fast-moving consumer goods. They reduced shortages by 42%, which is directly impacting revenue and customer satisfaction. If this is not soft enough, they have quantified operational gains. So it's not like something that is not tangible. So what made the difference? Strategic buffering placement, as we said. We put the buffer in the right place. Dynamic demand-driven planning, so the buffer quantity changes dynamically with the demand change fluctuation, and a strong execution model across supply chain nodes. And perhaps most importantly, they didn't just implement a system, they changed how they think about planning. That's what separates transformation from automation. So it's not an automation, it's not just a change in the system, it changed what they think about planning. This is very important. Another customer is Mega Alimentos, which is another food industry. Below are the words of their supply chain manager for the company. We have implemented a more agile and efficient model that aligns production, commercial, and logistics processes. It's not just a technical upgrade. This is an organizational synchronization. The results, a massive improvement in service level, 30% reduction in inventory. So they reduce the inventory, cut it by 1/3, almost 1/3. And most importantly, the right product in the right place at the right time. Another example, which is Daltelli, which is a ceramic industry away from food. In 2021, Daltelli implemented DDMRP and achieved the highest fill rate since 2018 with 37% less inventory. So again, 1/3 of their inventory was slashed while getting the highest fill rate or service fulfillment since 2018. So this is like getting a faster car that also burns less fuel. And just like with the previous case, they didn't need to overstock. They needed to buffer better and plan smarter. This is very important. I can go on and on. These are many examples like this as well. So I will not go through it. But again, the reason for showing this is to show you that this is not a science fiction. This is not a theory. It has been implemented, and the results are tangible and clear. How do we start? We start with, if you're not inspired yet, if you're inspired, so you might be asking or wondering, where do we begin? What do I need to do? So many companies start with the proof of concept in the journey. So the idea is simple. Pick a focused scope. Take a focus scope, maybe a single product family, location, or segment, and test DDMRP in a real controlled environment. So the beauty about it is that we're not trying to market a solution that you will buy it or subscribe in it, and then you get stuck with it, and then you try whether it will work or not. No, the implementation for both Symbios and the WA is that we will offer you a proof of concept. We will start first by testing the solution in one family, one product, one supply chain, and prove the concept for the company. And then after that, we expand and we make the solution wider for all your products. After you are convinced, and we both work together to make sure that it's working in the company that we're working on. And this is an estimate schedule of the activities, and it normally takes from 3 to 4 months for the proof of concept to work, and because we need to run a couple of cycles, planning cycles monthly, to make sure that the solution is working. So it's not just a theory, it's an execution. The proof of concept plan usually includes definition of the pilot scope, SKUs, location, users, configuring the system with relevant buffer settings, running side-by-side comparison with your current model, and measuring key outcome. And the good thing as well is that we can work backwards, meaning that if you have the data for the last year, last 12 to 18 months, for example, we can run a simulation from the tool to calculate for you the missing opportunity. If you have implemented DDMRP solution 2 years ago, what is the missing opportunity you're missing here? So the solution is sold out by convincing and producing the real numbers, not only just selling the theory itself. The tool, I will not go quickly through it. This is how it looks. It is what the DDMRP enabled planning tool actually looks like in an action. The dashboard typically includes planning buffers, suggested orders, customer orders view, exception review panel. You can see here the item summary view, detailed tabs, simulated planning buffer. So I'm not going to take you through the details of it, but it's a very detailed, sophisticated tool that ensures whatever buffering we're choosing is dynamic and is relevant to your business, and as I said, it cannot be done humanly, but make sure that it's dynamic, it's not outdated, and it's relieving your planners to make them focus on creating value rather than chasing trucks and chasing suppliers. Because it's very painful that you see planners not working on creating value, working value stream maps, and working on how to improve the service level, but working on chasing trucks from the suppliers to ensure that it's delivered on time, and changing the planning scheduling for the operation, and facing all the heat, negative energy coming from these places because we're changing the plan suddenly, and it creates an environment that is not very friendly in the workplace. These are more views of it. I'll not go into the details of it, of course. Lastly, the last thing I want to say is that what's next for you? Maybe it's running a pilot in one production line, testing buffer profiles in Excel even, because you don't need to have ERP system. You don't have to be to have SAP or Oracle to test it. It's fine to have Excel sheet, and the tool works on Excel sheets. The point is, don't wait for perfect condition, because perfect condition will not happen. DDMRP is not just a tool, it's a mindset shift from pushing forecast to pulling flow, from reacting to variability to designing for it. I'm designing my supply chain for accepting variability, because variability became a fact of life. If you're not ready for it, you will not continue. So it is a VUCA world, as we said. And we'll be very happy to get your feedback. And if you are interested in the tool, you can contact us in Symbios, and we'll work together with WA to prepare presentation for you, and to go and check your conditions in supply chain and work on the solution with you. Thank you for all your time today. I hope this sparked new ideas and showed up that there is a better way to plan. And I'm ready for any question if you have. I don't know, Gustavo or WA team, do you have any feedback, anything you want to add as well?
We have Ricardo here.
Oh, Ricardo?
Yeah, he can talk.
Hello, guys. It was a wonderful presentation. In my perspective, Ahmed, you definitely mastered the concepts of DDMRP. Okay. And guys, if you are looking to improve your service, reduce your inventory, and gain visibility, yes, to control your supply chain, DDMRP is not just a methodology. Okay. It's a game changer, right? The sooner you start, the sooner you'll see the results. Yes, so please don't wait. Take the first step forward, okay, to a more agile, demand-driven supply chain. Okay, so thank you very much, Ahmed and Symbios. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you, Ricardo, and please convey the thanks for Gustavo and for you, team. The beauty about this is that you will be proven the concept via proof of concept. So you will test it first before you buy it. So you know, it's better than you have a 14 days return. So before you buy it, you will test it, not after you buy it and you can return it in 14 days. So this is even better.
Exactly.
I think we have another question in the chat.
Yeah.
From Mr. Ayman.
Yeah.
He said we can API it to MS Dynamics, and it can generate automatically the PRS.
Okay.
Go on, Ricardo.
Yes. Well, DDMRP can be integrated via AP, okay, with Dynamics, okay. It can be integrated with any ERP, okay. In fact, several implementations already uses APIs, okay, or connectors to pull data from any ERP system, okay. So important to mention, the main important data that we require, it's stock, production orders, consumptions. Yes, that's the main data that we require from the ERPs. And answering the question, yes, okay, we can integrate it via API on any ERP system, okay? I don't know if I answer your question. Amen. Thumbs up.
Yep. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, team. My advice, honestly, is to give it a try. It will change the way planning is happening, and also as well for the poor planners that we have, it will improve their life because it will remove the pressure of whiplash forecast to react to demand with buffers while reducing inventory, as you said in the case study that we have. So it's not science fiction, it's proven concept. So my advice, go for it as soon as you can. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and please don't hesitate to share any questions even after the webinar with Iman and myself and Ricardo, and we will get back to you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.